The inheritance. Jack Thompson stared at the imposing law office building, his palms sweaty as he gripped the crumpled letter. The bustling city street hummed with activity, but Jack felt oddly disconnected from it all. Just yesterday, he'd been a normal college student, scraping by on ramen noodles and student loans. Now, he stood on the precipice of something that threatened to upend everything he thought he knew about himself and his family. Taking a deep breath, Jack pushed open the heavy glass doors and stepped into the air-conditioned lobby. A receptionist eyed him warily as he approached. "Can I help you?" she asked, her voice clipped and professional. "I'm here to see Mr. Winters," Jack said, holding out the letter. "I have an appointment." The receptionist's eyes widened slightly as she glanced at the letterhead. "Of course, Mr. Thompson. Please follow me." Jack trailed behind her through a maze of plush corridors, trying not to gawk at the opulent surroundings. This place was a far cry from his cramped dorm room. Finally, they reached a set of ornate wooden doors. The receptionist knocked softly before ushering Jack inside. Mr. Thompson, a distinguished older man, rose from behind an enormous desk, extending his hand. "I'm Barrister Winters. Thank you for coming on such short notice." Jack shook the lawyer's hand, acutely aware of his own rumpled appearance. "Nice to meet you, sir. I have to admit, I'm a little confused about why I'm here." Mr. Winters gestured for Jack to take a seat. "I understand your confusion. This must all seem quite sudden. I'm afraid I have some rather extraordinary news for you, Mr. Thompson. News that may be difficult to believe at first." Jack's heart raced. What kind of news? The lawyer leaned forward, his expression grave. "It concerns your uncle, Arcturus Thompson." Jack frowned. "I never knew I had an uncle." "That's what you were led to believe," Mr. Winters said softly. "The truth is far more complex. Your uncle was a remarkable man, Mr. Thompson, a visionary who changed the course of human history, though few know his name." For a moment, Jack could only stare at the lawyer in stunned silence. Then he burst out laughing. "Okay, I get it. This is some kind of prank, right? Did my roommate Mike put you up to this?" But Mr. Winters' expression remained deadly serious. "I assure you, Mr. Thompson, this is no joke. Your uncle's work was highly classified. Only a handful of people on Earth know the full extent of his accomplishments." Jack's laughter died away as he realized the lawyer wasn't kidding. "But that's impossible. If he was so important, why have I never heard of him?" "For your own protection," Mr. Winters replied, "and for protection of Earth itself. You see, Mr. Thompson, your uncle wasn't just a visionary. He was a pioneer in interstellar relations." Jack felt like he might pass out. "Interstellar, you mean?" Mr. Winters nodded sullenly. "Your uncle established the first diplomatic and trade agreements between Earth and several alien civilizations." The room seemed to spin around Jack. Aliens. Real, honest-to-God aliens. And his uncle had known about them. Had talked to them? It was too much to process. "I know this is overwhelming," Mr. Winters said gently. "But I'm afraid there's more. Your uncle left explicit instructions in his will. Upon reaching your 25th birthday, you were to be informed of your true heritage and offered the chance to claim your inheritance." Jack's eyes widened as the lawyer slid a document across the desk. The legalese was dense, but a few phrases jumped out at him. Transfer of all holdings. Multiple properties across several star systems, significant technological and financial assets. "This can't be real," Jack whispered. "I'm afraid it's very real, Mr. Thompson. And there's one more thing." Mr. Winters shifted uncomfortably. "Your inheritance includes not just wealth and property, but a wife." Jack's head snapped up. "Excuse me." The lawyer sighed. "Your uncle entered into a political marriage to cement an important alliance. Upon his death, the terms of that arrangement transferred to his heir. You." Jack slumped in his chair, struggling to breathe. His entire world had just been turned upside down in the span of a few minutes. "So you're telling me I've inherited an alien fortune and an alien wife?" Mr. Winters nodded. Her name is Zira. She's a member of the Lyrican royal family. Brilliant, by all accounts, and eagerly awaiting your arrival on her homeworld. Jack's mind reeled. Leave Earth? Travel to an alien world? Marry a space princess? It was insane. And yet, a small part of him thrilled at the idea. His life had been so mundane, so unfulfilling. Here was a chance at real adventure, at making a difference on a cosmic scale. What if I say no? He asked quietly. Mr. Winter's expression darkened. Then I'm afraid the carefully crafted alliances your uncle built would crumble. Earth could lose valuable interstellar trading partners. And you... Well, let's just say there are those who would go to great lengths to acquire what you've inherited. Jack swallowed hard. It seemed he didn't have much of a choice. When do we leave? The lawyer smiled, relief evident on his face. A ship is waiting to transport you to Lyrica. We can depart immediately. As Mr. Winters made some calls to arrange their departure, Jack stared out the window at the familiar cityscape. In a matter of hours, he would be leaving it all behind, perhaps forever. Fear and excitement warred within him. He thought of his cramped dorm room, his part-time job at the campus bookstore, his lack of real direction or purpose in life. Maybe this insane inheritance was exactly what he needed, a chance to become something more, to make his mark on the universe. Jack took a deep breath, squaring his shoulders. Whatever challenges lay ahead, he would face them head-on. His uncle had changed the course of human history. Now it was Jack's turn to carry on that legacy. I'm ready, he said as Mr. Winters returned. Let's go meet my alien wife. The journey to the spaceport passed in a blur. Mr. Winters had arranged for a sleek black hover car to whisk them out of the city, evading the watchful eyes of the media and any potential threats. As they sped along, the lawyer filled Jack in on some of the details of his new life. The vastness of his inherited fortune made Jack's head spin. Entire planets' worth of resources, cutting-edge technology beyond human understanding, political influence spanning multiple star systems. Your uncle was a visionary, Mr. Winters explained. He saw the potential in forging alliances with advanced alien civilizations. Thanks to him, humanity has taken its first steps onto the galactic stage. Jack nodded, trying to wrap his mind around it all. And this marriage to Zira, what's that all about? The lawyer's expression grew serious. The Lyricans are a proud and ancient race. Your uncle's marriage to a member of their royal family was a masterstroke of diplomacy. It cemented Earth's most important interstellar alliance. But now that responsibility falls to me, Jack said quietly. Indeed, I won't lie to you, Mr. Thompson. This won't be easy. You'll be thrust into a world of high-stakes politics and alien cultures. But I believe you have it in you to rise to the challenge. Your uncle clearly saw great potential in you. Jack wasn't so sure, but he appreciated the vote of confidence. As the hover car crested a hill, he gasped at the sight before him. A massive structure dominated the landscape, sleek and silver, utterly alien in design. Is that? Mr. Winters nodded. Your uncle's private spaceport. The ship that will take you to Lyrica awaits. They passed through layers of security, each more advanced than the last. Jack marveled at technology that seemed straight out of science fiction. Retinal scanners, force fields, AI systems far beyond anything publicly available on Earth. Finally, they emerged onto a vast landing pad. Jack's jaw dropped at the sight of the ship that would carry him to the stars. It was beautiful, all sweeping lines and gleaming metal, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. A small group awaited them at the base of the boarding ramp. As Jack approached, his eyes were drawn to one figure in particular. She was undeniably alien, her skin a pale lavender, her eyes large and luminous, but she was also breathtakingly beautiful. Jack Thompson, she said, her voice musical and strange. I am Zira of Lyrica. Welcome to your new life. Jack swallowed hard, suddenly acutely aware of his rumpled appearance and utter lack of preparation for this moment. It's, nice to meet you. Zira's lips quirked in what might have been amusement. I'm sure this is all quite overwhelming for you. Rest assured, I will do my best to guide you through the transition. Jack nodded gratefully. Despite the bizarreness of the situation, he found himself drawn to Zira. There was an intelligence in her eyes, a quiet strength in her bearing. We should depart immediately, one of the other aliens said, his tone urgent. Our sensors have detected unauthorized craft approaching. Mr. Winters cursed under his breath. It seems our enemies have caught wind of the situation sooner than anticipated. He turned to Jack, his expression grave. Mr. Thompson, I'm afraid this is where we part ways. Remember what I told you. The fate of multiple worlds now rests in your hands. Good luck. With that, the lawyer turned and strode away. Jack watched him go, feeling a moment of panic. He was really doing this, leaving behind everything he'd ever known, jumping headfirst into an alien world of intrigue and danger. But as he looked at Zira, at the wonder of alien technology surrounding him, Jack felt a thrill of excitement cut through his fear. This was his chance to be part of something greater, to make a real difference in the universe. Taking a deep breath, he stepped onto the boarding ramp. All right, he said, mustering all the confidence he could. Let's go save the galaxy. Zira's luminous eyes sparkled with something like approval as the ramp raised behind them, and the ship's engines hummed to life. Jack knew his life would never be the same. Whatever challenges lay ahead, he would face them head-on, for the sake of Earth, for the alliance his uncle had built, and for the extraordinary future that now stretched out before him among the stars. The ship lifted off, streaking into the sky with impossible speed. Jack watched the viewscreen as Earth rapidly shrank away, his heart pounding with a mixture of terror and exhilaration. He was leaving behind everything he'd ever known, embarking on an adventure beyond his wildest dreams. As the blue marble of his homeworld faded to a tiny speck, Jack turned to face his new reality, and the alien wife who would be his partner in shaping the destiny of multiple worlds. Whatever came next, he knew his life would never be the same again. Cosmic diplomacy. The starship Celestial Voyager glided through the shimmering expanse of hyperspace, its sleek hull pulsing with otherworldly energy. Inside, Jack Thompson stood transfixed before a massive viewing window, watching in awe as reality itself seemed to bend and warp around them. Magnificent, isn't it? Zira's melodious voice startled him from his reverie. Jack turned to find his alien wife, a concept he was still struggling to wrap his head around, standing beside him. Her lavender skin seemed to glow softly in the ethereal light of hyperspace. It's incredible, Jack admitted. I never imagined I'd see anything like this. Zira's lips curved in a small smile. There is much wonder in the universe, Jack Thompson, and much danger. Are you prepared for what awaits us on Lyrica? Jack swallowed hard. In the whirlwind of their departure from Earth, he'd barely had time to process the monumental changes to his life, let alone consider the challenges ahead. I'm not sure anyone could be truly prepared for this, he said honestly. But I'm willing to learn, to do whatever it takes to honor my uncle's legacy and keep this alliance strong. Something flickered in Zira's luminous eyes, approval, perhaps. That is a wise attitude. Come, we have much to discuss before we arrive. She led him to a sleek conference room where a holographic display sprang to life at her touch. Jack gasped as a stunningly detailed map of the galaxy materialized before them. This is incredible, he breathed, reaching out to touch one of the glowing star systems. To his amazement, it expanded, revealing planetary bodies and swirling nebulae in exquisite detail. Your uncle's technology, Zira explained, far beyond anything publicly available on Earth. This map contains real-time data on political alliances, trade routes, and potential threats across thousands of star systems. Jack's mind reeled at the implications, and all of this is part of my inheritance. Zira nodded solemnly. Along with the responsibility of maintaining the delicate balance your uncle worked so hard to achieve, there are forces in the galaxy that would very much like to see that balance disrupted. As if on cue, An alarm blared through the ship. The holographic display flickered, zooming in on their current location. Jack's blood ran cold as he saw multiple red dots converging on their position. "We're under attack," Zira said, her voice calm but urgent. "Hostile ships, likely mercenaries hired by rival factions. They seek to prevent us from reaching Lyrica and formalizing your claim to the Thompson legacy." Jack's heart raced. What do we do? Zira's eyes gleamed with a fierce determination. "We fight. Your uncle's ship is more than capable of defending itself, but we'll need to work together." She guided Jack to a control panel unlike anything he'd ever seen. "These are the weapon systems. I'll pilot, you focus on keeping our pursuers at bay." Jack's hands hovered uncertainly over the alien controls. "I don't know how." "Trust your instincts," Zira interrupted. "The systems are partially telepathic. Visualize your intent, and the ship will respond." Taking a deep breath, Jack closed his eyes and focused. To his amazement, he felt a connection forming, as if the ship itself was an extension of his own body. When he opened his eyes, the control panel pulsed with energy, responding to his thoughts. The next few minutes were a blur of adrenaline and cosmic spectacle. Zira's piloting was nothing short of miraculous, weaving the celestial Voyager through a storm of enemy fire. Jack found himself acting on pure instinct, unleashing salvos of energy weapons that crackled with otherworldly power. Working in perfect synchronization, they managed to fight off the attacking ships. As the last enemy vessel fled into hyperspace, Jack slumped back in his chair, exhausted but exhilarated. "That was intense," he managed, his voice shaky. Zira gave him an appraising look. "You performed admirably for your first space battle. Perhaps there is hope for you yet, Jack Thompson." Before Jack could respond, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared once more as the viewscreen filled with a swirling vortex of energy. "What's happening?" Jack shouted over the cacophony. Zira's expression was grim. "A trap. They've activated a quantum singularity, pulling us off course. Brace yourself." The celestial Voyager was sucked into the vortex, reality twisting around them in mind-bending ways. Jack felt like his very atoms were being pulled apart and reassembled. Just when he thought he couldn't take any more, everything went black. When Jack regained consciousness, he found himself lying on a cold metal floor. Groaning, he pushed himself to his feet, taking in his surroundings. They were no longer on the celestial Voyager, but in some kind of alien structure. Zira lay nearby, stirring weakly. "Are you all right?" Jack asked, helping her up. Zira nodded, her eyes scanning their environment. "We appear to be in a Zephyrian containment facility. This is not good." Zephyrian? A warlike species, enemies of both Lyrica and Earth. If they captured us, the entire alliance could be in jeopardy. Zira's voice was tight with worry. As if on cue, a door slid open with a hiss. 3 imposing aliens entered, towering reptilian creatures with gleaming scales and eyes that burned with cruel intelligence. Well, the lead Zephyrian hissed, its voice sending chills down Jack's spine. "The heir of Arcturus Thompson and his Lyrican bride. How fortunate for us." Jack stood protectively in front of Zira, his mind racing. He was just a regular guy from Earth, thrust into an interstellar conflict he'd barely understood. But as he faced down these alien captors, he felt something stirring within him, a strength and determination he never knew he possessed. "Listen," he said, forcing confidence into his voice. "I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I do know this. My uncle built something important, something that benefits all our species. Whatever you're planning, it's not too late to choose a better path." The Zephyrian leader laughed, a harsh, grating sound. Bold words from such a primitive creature. "Perhaps we should show you the true nature of the universe you so recently joined." As the aliens advanced, Jack tensed, ready for a fight. But Zira placed a hand on his arm, her touch sending a jolt of energy through him. Suddenly, he felt the ship's telepathic systems connecting with his mind once more. Together, Zero whispered. Jack nodded, closing his eyes and focusing his thoughts. He felt Zero's consciousness merging with his own, their combined will reaching out to the very fabric of the alien facility around them. The Zephyrians stopped short, confused by their captive's strange behavior. But it was already too late. With a thought, Jack and Zero activated hidden systems within the containment cell. Force fields sprang to life, trapping the surprised aliens. How? The Zephyrian leader sputtered. This is impossible. Jack allowed himself a small smile. Apparently not. Now, let's talk about that better path I mentioned. As alarms blared and confused shouts echoed through the facility, Jack realized this was only the beginning. He had a lot to learn about this new universe he'd been thrust into, about the power he'd inherited and the responsibilities that came with it. But looking at Zero, seeing the mix of surprise and approval in her alien eyes, Jack felt a surge of confidence. Together, they just might be able to navigate the treacherous waters of interstellar politics and forge a lasting peace. The adventure was only beginning, and Jack Thompson, once a simple college student from Earth, was ready to take on the entire galaxy. We need to move quickly, Zero said, her fingers dancing over a nearby control panel. I've accessed the facility's schematics. There's a hangar bay 2 levels down. If we can commandeer a ship, we might have a chance, Jack finished, nodding. Lead the way. They raced through twisting corridors, narrowly avoiding patrols of angry Zephyrians. Jack marveled at how quickly he was adapting to this insane situation. Just days ago, his biggest worry had been passing his next exam. Now he was fleeing alien captors and trying to prevent an interstellar war. As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with a group of Zephyrian guards. Without thinking, Jack grabbed a piece of alien tech from a nearby console and hurled it at the lead guard's head. The device exploded in a shower of sparks, temporarily blinding their pursuers. Nice throw, Zero said, genuine admiration in her voice as they sprinted past the disoriented aliens. Thanks, Jack panted. 4 years of intramural softball finally paid off. They burst into the hangar bay, a cavernous space filled with sleek, predatory-looking ships. Jack's eyes darted frantically, searching for their best option. There. Zero pointed to a small, agile-looking craft. That's an Ovarian stealth ship, perfect for our needs. As they raced towards the vessel, a booming voice filled the hangar. Attention, humans and traitors, you cannot escape. Surrender now, and your deaths will be swift. Jack glanced back to see the Zephyrian leader from earlier, flanked by dozens of heavily armed soldiers. The aliens' eyes burned with hatred and something else. Fear. They're more afraid of what we represent than of us, Zero murmured as they reached the ship. What do you mean? Jack asked as they clambered inside. Zero's hands flew over the controls, bringing the ship to life. Your uncle's legacy, the alliance he built, it threatens everything the Zephyrians stand for. Their entire society is built on conquest and subjugation. The idea of peaceful cooperation between species terrifies them. As the ship lifted off, the Zephyrians opened fire. Energy blasts pummeled their shields, but Zero's piloting skills were unmatched. They shot out of the hangar, streaking into open space. We're not out of danger yet, Zero said grimly. Our coordinates were scrambled by the quantum singularity. We're in uncharted space, and the Zephyrians won't give up easily. As if to emphasize her point, the ship shuddered under enemy fire. Warning lights flashed across the control panel. What do we do? Jack asked, fighting to keep the panic from his voice. Zero's eyes narrowed in concentration. There's a nearby system that might offer sanctuary. It's risky, but we have no choice. Initiating hyperspace jump in 3, 2, 1. The stars blurred into streaks of light as the ship plunged into hyperspace. Jack felt a moment of vertigo before the inertial dampeners kicked in. When reality reasserted itself, he gasped at the sight before them. A massive ring world dominated the view screen, its swirling atmosphere a mesmerizing dance of colors. But it was the structure orbiting the planet that truly took Jack's breath away, a colossal space station unlike anything he'd ever imagined. The Nexus, Zira breathed, her voice filled with awe. I thought it was just a legend. What is it? Jack asked, unable to tear his eyes from the magnificent sight. A neutral ground for species across the galaxy. A place of trade, diplomacy, and, Zira hesitated, secrets. If anywhere in the universe holds the answers we seek, it's here. As they approached the Nexus, Jack felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. He had a feeling that whatever they discovered here would change everything, not just for him and Zira, but for the entire galaxy. The Nexus grew larger in the viewscreen, its true scale becoming apparent. The space station was a marvel of engineering, a sprawling metropolis suspended in the void. Massive docking arms extended like the petals of a flower, accommodating vessels of all shapes and sizes. Unidentified ship, state your business, a voice crackled over the comm system. Zira leaned forward, her voice clear and commanding. This is Zira of House Vexia, accompanied by Jack Thompson, heir to the Thompson legacy. We seek sanctuary and audience with the Nexus Council. There was a long pause. Jack held his breath, acutely aware of the Zephyrian ships that could be closing in on them at any moment. Finally, the voice returned. Sanctuary granted. Proceed to Docking Bay 17. Welcome to the Nexus. As Zira guided their ship towards the designated bay, Jack marveled at the diversity of vessels surrounding them. Some were organic-looking, pulsing with bioluminescence. Others were geometric and angular, defying his understanding of physics. I can't believe this place exists, he murmured. How have humans never discovered it? Zira's expression was somber. The Nexus exists outside normal space-time. Only those with the right knowledge, or desperate need, can find it. Your uncle knew of its existence but kept it secret to protect Earth from forces it wasn't ready to face. They touched down in the docking bay, a cavernous space humming with activity. As the ship's ramp lowered, Jack took a deep breath, steeling himself for whatever lay ahead. Ready? Zira asked, her hand finding his. Jack nodded, surprised at how natural it felt to stand beside this alien woman he barely knew. As I'll ever be. They stepped out into a riot of sights, sounds, and smells. Aliens of every conceivable form bustled about, some humanoid, others defying easy categorization. The air was filled with a cacophony of languages, most untranslatable to Jack's ears. A tall, willowy being with iridescent skin approached them. Welcome to the Nexus. I am Silo, your guide. The Council awaits you. As they followed Silo through winding corridors and vast plazas, Jack's head spun with questions, but one burned brighter than the rest. Zira, he said quietly, what aren't you telling me? What's the real reason the Zephyrians are so afraid of us? Zira's luminous eyes met his, filled with a mixture of apprehension and hope. Your uncle discovered something, Jack. Something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The Zephyrians, and others like them, fear it because it threatens their ability to wage war. What is it? Before Zira could answer, they arrived at an imposing set of doors. Silo bowed slightly. The Nexus Council will see you now. The doors swung open, revealing a circular chamber bathed in soft light. Seated around a grand table were beings of such diverse appearance that Jack's mind struggled to process what he was seeing. Some seemed to be made of pure energy, others were mechanical constructs, and still others defied easy classification. At the head of the table sat a figure that radiated ancient wisdom and power. Its form shifted constantly, as if unable to settle on a single appearance. Welcome, Jack Thompson. The being's voice resonated in Jack's mind, rather than his ears. We have long awaited your arrival. The time has come for you to learn the truth about your inheritance and the key to lasting peace in the galaxy. Jack swallowed hard, feeling the weight of countless alien gazes upon him. Whatever revelation awaited, he knew his life, and the fate of entire civilizations, would never be the same. Cosmic awakening. The shifting being at the head of the table rose, its form coalescing into a vaguely humanoid shape. When it spoke again, Jack felt the words reverberate through his very being. Jack Thompson, heir to Arcturus' legacy, you stand at a crossroads of cosmic significance. The knowledge your uncle uncovered has the power to reshape the very fabric of galactic society. But with that power comes great responsibility and grave danger. Jack's mind reeled. He glanced at Zira, finding strength in her steady presence beside him. "I'm ready to hear the truth," he said, surprised at the conviction in his own voice. The being, which Jack now understood to be the head of the Nexus Council, nodded sullenly. With a wave of its hand, a shimmering hologram appeared in the center of the chamber. Jack gasped as he recognized the face of his uncle, Arcturus Thompson. "Greetings, Jack," the hologram spoke, its voice eerily lifelike. "If you're seeing this, then you've taken the first steps on the path I laid out for you. I'm sorry for the secrecy, for the burden I've placed on your shoulders, but you must understand. What I discovered could either usher in an era of unprecedented peace or plunge the galaxy into chaos." The hologram shifted, showing a swirling vortex of energy. "This is the Harmony Matrix, a cosmic phenomenon of unimaginable power. It's the source of all faster-than-light travel, the key to instantaneous communication across vast distances. But it's more than that. The Harmony Matrix is sentient, Jack, and it's been waiting for someone worthy to unlock its full potential." Jack's head spun. "I don't understand. What does this have to do with me?" The hologram of Arcturus smiled sadly. "Everything, my boy. The Matrix chose our bloodline as its conduits. You have the innate ability to communicate with it, to shape reality itself. With proper training, you could bring true harmony to the galaxy, eliminating the need for war, solving resource scarcity, healing rifts between species." "But the Zephyrians and others like them," Zira interjected, "they fear this power. They profit from conflict and division." Arcturus' hologram nodded. "Precisely. They'll stop at nothing to prevent you from fully bonding with the Harmony Matrix. That's why I arranged your marriage to Zira, why I built this elaborate inheritance. You'll need allies, Jack, and love to face the challenges ahead." As the hologram faded, Jack felt the weight of countless alien gazes upon him. The head of the Nexus Council spoke once more. "The choice is yours, Jack Thompson. Will you accept your destiny as a conduit for the Harmony Matrix? Will you strive to bring balance to a fractured galaxy?" Jack closed his eyes, overwhelmed by the magnitude of the decision before him. He thought of his simple life on Earth, now forever out of reach. He thought of the wonders he'd seen, the vastness of the cosmos that now lay open to him. Finally, he opened his eyes, meeting Zira's gaze. In her alien features, he saw strength, compassion, and something else, a growing affection that mirrored his own feelings. "I accept," Jack said, his voice ringing with newfound purpose. "I don't fully understand this power yet, but I'll do everything I can to use it responsibly, to bring peace not just for humanity, but for all species." A ripple of approval passed through the council chamber. The head counselor nodded solemnly. "Then let your training begin, but be warned, forces are already aligning against you. The path ahead will be fraught with danger." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the Nexus. A frantic voice came over the communication system. "Multiple hostile ships detected, Zephyrian war fleet approaching." Jack's heart raced, but he felt a strange calm settle over him. He turned to Zira, seeing his own determination reflected in her eyes. "Ready to save the galaxy?" he asked with a small smile. Zira's hand found his, their fingers intertwining. "Together," she replied. As they raced from the council chamber, preparing to face the oncoming threat, Jack knew that his greatest adventure was only beginning. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and he, Jack Thompson, once an ordinary guy from Earth, now held the key to its future. The Harmony Matrix pulsed within him, a cosmic power waiting to be unleashed. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Jack was ready to face them, not just for himself, but for the promise of a united, peaceful galaxy. The Nexus shuddered under the assault of the Zephyrian war fleet. Alarms blared as beings of all species rushed to battle stations. In the midst of the chaos, Jack and Zero raced through twisting corridors, their minds linked in silent communication. "We need to reach the Nexus core," Zero's thoughts echoed in Jack's mind. "It's our only chance to harness the full power of the Harmony Matrix." Jack nodded, marveling at how natural this telepathic bond felt. The Harmony Matrix pulsed within him, cosmic energy eager to be unleashed. As they ran, reality itself seemed to bend around them, responding to Jack's awakening powers. They burst into a vast chamber dominated by a swirling vortex of energy, the Nexus core, heart of the station and nexus point for the Harmony Matrix itself. Alien technicians worked frantically at control panels, trying to bolster the station's defenses. "Jack Thompson," a familiar voice rang out. Jack turned to see Silo, their iridescent guide, approaching with urgency. "The Council has granted you full access to the core, but be warned, merging with the Matrix at this level is dangerous. Few have attempted it and remained themselves." Jack swallowed hard, but his resolve didn't waver. "I have to try. The fate of the galaxy depends on it." Zero squeezed his hand. "I'll be with you every step of the way." Taking a deep breath, Jack approached the swirling energy of the core. As he reached out, tendrils of light danced across his skin. The chamber fell away, and Jack found himself floating in an infinite cosmos of pure possibility. "Welcome, Jack Foster," the voice of the Harmony Matrix resonated through his very being. "Are you prepared to become one with the cosmos?" "I am," Jack replied, his voice echoing across realities. Suddenly, he was everywhere and everyone at once. He saw the birth of stars and the death of galaxies. He witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations across the vastness of space-time. And through it all, he felt the guiding presence of Zero, anchoring him to his humanity. With newfound clarity, Jack understood the true nature of the conflict threatening to tear the galaxy apart. He saw the threads of fear, greed, and misunderstanding that had led to this moment, and he knew exactly how to unravel them. Back in the physical realm, the Nexus rocked with another blast from the Zephyrian fleet. But now Jack stood tall, his eyes glowing with the power of the Harmony Matrix. He raised his hands, and reality itself bent to his will. The attacking ships froze in space, caught in a bubble of distorted time. With a gesture, Jack opened a channel to every vessel, every planet, every corner of the galaxy touched by the conflict. "People of the galaxy," his voice rang out, transcending language barriers, "I am Jack Thompson, conduit of the Harmony Matrix. I come to you not as a conqueror, but as a mediator. I have seen the pain and suffering that has led us to this moment, and I offer a chance for true understanding." With a thought, Jack wove the threads of the Matrix, creating a psychic link between all sentient beings. In an instant, every individual in the galaxy experienced a fraction of what Jack had witnessed, the hopes, fears, and dreams of countless others. The effect was immediate and profound. The Zephyrians, feeling the terror they had inflicted on others, lowered their weapons in shame. Other species, long at odds, found common ground in shared experiences. "We stand at a crossroads," Jack continued, his voice resonating with cosmic power. "We can choose to continue down the path of conflict, or we can embrace a new way forward. The Harmony Matrix offers us the chance to build a truly united galaxy, where resources are shared and diversity is celebrated." As Jack spoke, the fabric of reality rippled around him. Barren worlds blossomed with life, while war-torn planets began to heal. Faster-than-light travel became as simple as a thought, and communication across vast distances instantaneous. "The choice is yours," Jack said, his voice gentle but firm. "But know this, the old ways of division and conquest are over. The galaxy is entering a new age of cooperation and enlightenment. Will you join us?" For a moment, silence reigned across the cosmos. Then gradually, a chorus of voices rose in agreement. Species that had been bitter enemies for millennia laid down their arms. Worlds long isolated welcomed new neighbors with open arms. As the psychic link faded, Jack felt the enormity of what he had accomplished. He had reshaped the very nature of galactic society, ushering in an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity. Exhausted but exhilarated, Jack turned to Zira. Her eyes shimmered with tears of joy. "You did it," she whispered, pulling him into an embrace. Jack smiled, feeling the warmth of her alien form against his. "We did it," he corrected. "I couldn't have done any of this without you." As the inhabitants of the Nexus erupted in celebration around them, Jack and Zira shared a tender kiss, a symbol of the unity between their species and a promise of the bright future that lay ahead. But even as Jack basked in the glow of their victory, a small part of him remained vigilant. He knew that change, even positive change, could be met with resistance. The galaxy might be at peace for now, but there would always be new challenges to face, new horizons to explore. The adventure, it seemed, was far from over. But with Zira by his side and the power of the harmony matrix flowing through him, Jack Thompson, once an ordinary college student, now the architect of galactic peace, was ready for whatever the cosmos might throw at him next. As the celebrations began to die down, Jack felt a sudden shift in the energy around him. The harmony matrix pulsed within him, a warning of something yet to come. He turned to Zira, seeing the same concern reflected in her luminous eyes. "You feel it too?" he asked. Zira nodded, her expression grave. "The galaxy may be at peace, but the harmony matrix senses a disturbance. Something beyond our known universe is stirring." Jack's mind raced with possibilities. Had their actions somehow attracted the attention of forces even more ancient and powerful than the harmony matrix? Or were there aspects of this cosmic energy that even his uncle hadn't fully understood? As if in response to his thoughts, a shimmering portal opened before them, swirling with colors beyond human comprehension. A voice unlike any Jack had ever heard echoed through the chamber. "Jack Thompson, Harmony Bringer," the voice intoned, somehow conveying both infinite wisdom and childlike curiosity. "Your work here is but the beginning. The true test of your species, of all species, lies ahead. Are you prepared to take the next step in cosmic evolution?" Jack and Zira exchanged a look of determination. Whatever lay beyond that portal, they would face it together, not just for themselves, but for the united galaxy they had helped forge. Hand in hand, they stepped towards the unknown, ready to embark on an adventure that would challenge everything they thought they knew about the nature of reality itself. The story of Jack Thompson, the unexpected heir who became the catalyst for galactic peace, had captured the imagination of countless beings across the cosmos. But as he and Zira vanished into the shimmering portal, those watching knew that an even greater tale was just beginning, one that would be told and retold for eons to come. Transcendent Evolution, 2800 words. As Jack and Zira stepped through the shimmering portal, reality itself seemed to unravel around them. Colors beyond human comprehension swirled in mesmerizing patterns, and the very concepts of space and time lost all meaning. Jack felt his consciousness expanding, merging with something vast and incomprehensible. When the disorientation finally subsided, they found themselves in a realm unlike anything they had ever encountered. The landscape, if it could be called that, was a constantly shifting tapestry of energy and thought. Beings of pure light and abstract concepts drifted by, acknowledging the newcomers with pulses of curiosity and welcome. "Where are we?" Jack breathed, his voice seeming to echo across multiple dimensions. "The cosmic nexus," came a reply, not in words, but in pure understanding implanted directly into their minds. A being of swirling golden light materialized before them, its form constantly shifting between humanoid and utterly alien. "I am the Overseer, guardian of this realm where the multiverse converges." Zira stepped forward, her natural diplomatic skills kicking in even in this extraordinary situation. Honored Overseer, we come seeking understanding. The Harmony Matrix showed us a glimpse of something beyond our comprehension. The Overseer's light pulsed with what might have been amusement. The Harmony Matrix is but an echo of the true cosmic tapestry, young ones. Your actions in uniting your galaxy have sent ripples across realities, drawing the attention of forces beyond imagining. Jack felt a chill run down his spine. Have we done something wrong? Not wrong, the Overseer assured them. But change, even positive change, can upset delicate balances. The peace you've brought to your realm has altered the cosmic equilibrium. Other realities now teeter on the edge of chaos or enlightenment, influenced by the choices you've made. Images flashed through Jack and Zira's minds, countless alternate versions of their galaxy, some consumed by war, others achieving technological marvels beyond belief. They saw versions of themselves. A Jack who had rejected his inheritance and doomed Earth to isolation, a Zira who had chosen conquest over diplomacy. The multiverse is a delicate web, the Overseer continued. Each choice, each action, creates new branches of possibility. Your mastery of the Harmony Matrix has given you the power to influence not just your own reality, but the very fabric of creation itself. Jack's mind reeled with the implications. But why show us this? What are we supposed to do with this knowledge? The Overseer's form shimmered with anticipation. You stand at the threshold of the next great leap in cosmic evolution. The beings you see around you are once like you, mortal, limited in perspective, but they chose to transcend, to become guardians and shapers of reality itself. Zira's eyes widened in understanding. You're offering us the chance to join you. Yes, the Overseer confirmed, but the choice must be made freely and with full understanding of what it entails. To become one with the cosmic nexus is to leave behind your mortal forms, your individual identities. You would become beings of pure thought and energy, tasked with maintaining the balance across all realities. Jack felt a moment of panic. He looked at Zira, the alien woman he had come to love despite their differences. The thought of losing his individuality, of merging into some cosmic consciousness, terrified him. But Zira squeezed his hand, her touch grounding him even in this realm of pure energy. We don't have to decide right now, she said softly. Perhaps there's a middle ground, a way to learn from this place without fully transcending our mortal forms. The Overseer pulsed with approval. Wisdom beyond your years, young Zira. Indeed, there are many paths to enlightenment. Come, let us show you the wonders of the cosmic nexus. Your education begins now. What followed was a journey beyond imagination. Jack and Zira traversed the very building blocks of reality, witnessing the birth and death of entire universes. They communed with beings of living mathematics, danced with sentient stars, and unraveled the mysteries of quantum entanglement. Through it all, their bond deepened. The love between human and alien transcended physical form, becoming a beacon of hope and unity across the multiverse. Other beings in the cosmic nexus marveled at their connection, seeing in it the potential for a new kind of cosmic harmony. As their understanding grew, so did their powers. Jack's connection to the Harmony Matrix expanded exponentially, allowing him to perceive and influence the flow of energy across multiple realities. Zira's natural empathy blossomed into a form of multidimensional diplomacy, mediating conflicts between entire universes. But with this growth came new challenges. They encountered dark reflections of themselves, versions from realities where their choices had led to ruin. A Jack consumed by the power of the Harmony Matrix, tyrannically enforcing his vision of peace across the cosmos. A Zira who had rejected unity, leading her people on a campaign of multiversal conquest. These encounters forced Jack and Zira to confront the darkness within themselves, to acknowledge the fine line between benevolent guardianship and oppressive control. They realized that true wisdom lay not in eliminating conflict entirely, but in guiding civilizations towards growth and understanding through their own choices. As their journey through the cosmic nexus neared its end, the Overseer presented them with a final challenge. You have learned much, the being of light intoned. Now you must choose your path forward. Will you join us as transcendent beings, shepherding the multiverse from afar? Or will you return to your mortal forms, using your newfound wisdom to guide your galaxy's evolution from within? Jack and Zira shared a long look, volumes passing between them without a word. Finally, Jack turned to the Overseer. We're honored by your offer, he began, but our journey has shown us that there's still so much to learn, so much growth to be had in our mortal forms. Zira nodded in agreement. We choose to return to our galaxy, to be a bridge between the cosmic and the mundane. Perhaps someday we'll be ready to transcend fully, but for now, our place is among our people. The Overseer's light pulsed with what might have been pride. A noble choice, and one that speaks to your true potential. Very well, you shall return to your realm. But know that you go with the blessings of the cosmic nexus. The boundaries between realities will be thinner for you now, allowing you to draw upon the wisdom you've gained here. With a gesture, the Overseer opened a portal back to their home galaxy. As Jack and Zira prepared to step through, the being of light offered one final piece of advice. Remember, young guardians, that the greatest power lies not in shaping reality to your will, but in inspiring others to reach for the stars themselves. Hand in hand, Jack and Zira stepped back into their own universe. They materialized on the bridge of a sleek starship, more advanced than anything their galaxy had ever seen. Through the viewscreen, they saw their home planets, Earth and Lyrica, orbiting a distant star. Welcome back, a familiar voice said. They turned to see a holographic projection of Arcturus Thompson, smiling warmly. Or shall I say, welcome home? Jack's eyes widened in surprise. Uncle? But how? Arcturus chuckled. Let's just say I had my own journey through the cosmic nexus, long ago. I've been waiting for you to return. There's so much work to be done, so many wonders to explore. Zira stepped forward, her eyes shining with excitement. The galaxy has changed in our absence. I can feel it. New alliances forming, civilizations reaching for the stars. Indeed, Arcturus confirmed. Your actions before your departure set in motion a new age of cooperation and discovery. But challenges remain. Remnants of the old regimes cling to power. Ancient threats slumber in the dark between galaxies. And now, with the boundaries between realities thinned, we must be vigilant against incursions from less friendly universes. Jack felt the familiar surge of the harmony matrix within him, but now tempered by the wisdom gained in the cosmic nexus. He turned to Zira, seeing in her eyes the same determination he felt. Well then, he said with a grin, I guess our work is just beginning. As the starship's engines hummed to life, preparing to take them on their next adventure, Jack reflected on the incredible journey that had brought him to this moment. From a struggling college student to the heir of a cosmic legacy, from a reluctant diplomat to a guardian of multiversal harmony, he had transformed in ways he never could have imagined. But through it all, one thing remained constant, the love he shared with Zira, a bond that transcended species, transcended reality itself. Together, they would face whatever challenges the universe, or multiverse, might throw at them. The stars beckoned, filled with endless possibilities, and Jack Thompson, once an ordinary guy from Earth, now a bridge between the cosmic and the mundane, was ready to embrace them all. As their ship accelerated towards the unknown, a new chapter in the greatest adventure of all time was about to unfold. The starship's celestial harmony glided silently through the cosmic tapestry, its quantum drives humming with energy drawn from the very fabric of space-time. On the bridge, Jack Thompson stood hand in hand with Zira, their forms shimmering with residual energy from their journey through the cosmic nexus. Approaching the Andromeda Milky Way bridge, announced the ship's AI, its voice a melodious blend of tones that seemed to resonate with the universe itself. Jack nodded, his eyes fixed on the swirling vortex of light ahead. The newly constructed bridge between galaxies was a testament to how far their civilization had come in the years since he and Zira had returned from the cosmic nexus. "Hard to believe it's only been a decade," Zira murmured, her thoughts echoing Jack's own. "So much has changed." Indeed, the galaxy they had returned to was almost unrecognizable. The peace Jack had brokered using the Harmony Matrix had blossomed into an era of unprecedented cooperation and advancement. Species that were once bitter enemies now worked side by side, pushing the boundaries of science and exploration. But with great progress came great responsibility. As the ship entered the intergalactic bridge, alarms suddenly blared to life. "Multiple quantum anomalies detected," the AI warned. "Dimensional integrity compromised." Jack's eyes widened as he saw the fabric of reality itself begin to fray around them. Ghostly images flickered in and out of existence, shadowy reflections of their ship, some peaceful, others bristling with weapons of unimaginable power. "It's a cascade effect," Zira said, her hands dancing over the control panels. "Our bridge is intersecting with versions from parallel universes." Jack closed his eyes, reaching out with his enhanced senses. He could feel the Harmony Matrix pulsing through the multiverse, straining to maintain balance. With a thought, he extended his consciousness, trying to smooth the quantum turbulence. But something was wrong. An outside force was at work, deliberately destabilizing the bridges between realities. "We're under attack," Jack realized, his voice grim. "Not just our ship, but our entire universe." As if in response to his words, a massive vessel materialized before them. It was like no ship they had ever encountered, a writhing mass of dark energy that seemed to devour light itself. "Greetings, Harmony Bringers," a cold voice echoed through their minds. "Your meddling in the affairs of the cosmos ends now." Jack and Zira exchanged a look of determination. They had faced universe-ending threats before, but this was something new. "I am Nethara," the voice continued, "last of the Void Weavers. For eons we maintained the separation between realities, culling those that grew too powerful. Your actions have upset the cosmic balance. The eternal void hungers, and your universe will be its feast." The dark ship pulsed, sending out waves of entropic energy. Around them, the intergalactic bridge began to disintegrate. "Jack," Zira said urgently, "if that bridge collapses, millions of our people traversing between galaxies will be lost." Jack nodded, his mind racing. The power of the Harmony Matrix flowed through him, but even that paled in comparison to the dark energy wielded by Nethara. They needed something more. Suddenly, a memory from their time in the cosmic nexus surfaced. The Overseer had spoken of cosmic songs, vibrations that resonated across all realities. "Zira," Jack said, an idea forming, "remember the quantum harmonics we learned? I think it's time for a duet." Understanding dawned in Zira's eyes. Together, they began to sing, not with their physical voices, but with the very essence of their beings. The melody was complex beyond human comprehension, blending mathematical precision with raw emotion. As their song grew in power, the celestial harmony responded. The ship's quantum drives pulsed in rhythm, amplifying the harmonic waves. Streams of radiant energy burst forth, weaving a new pattern in the cosmic tapestry. Nethara's ship recoiled, its dark energy disrupted by the unexpected assault. "Impossible," the Void Weaver's voice boomed. "No mortal beings should wield such power." But Jack and Zira were far from ordinary mortals. Their experiences had transformed them into something new, not quite transcendent beings, but bridges between the mundane and the cosmic. Their song reached across dimensions, calling out to alternate versions of themselves. Suddenly, the space around them was filled with ships, countless variations of the celestial harmony from parallel realities. Some were crewed by versions of Jack and Zira who had made different choices, others by entirely different species who had risen to become harmony bringers in their own universes. Together, this multiversal armada took up the song. Reality itself began to vibrate with the power of their quantum harmony. Nethar's ship shuddered, cracks appearing in its dark surface. "No," the Void Weaver cried. "The eternal void cannot be denied." "You're right," Jack responded, his voice echoing across realities. "The void between universes serves a purpose, but it doesn't have to be eternal, and it doesn't have to be empty." With a final triumphant swell, the quantum harmony reached its crescendo. Nethar's ship imploded, collapsing in on itself. But instead of destruction, there was transformation. The dark energy twisted, reformed, and burst outward in a dazzling display of light and color. Where once there was a void between universes, now there was a shimmering quantum membrane, a living barrier that allowed controlled interaction between realities while maintaining their integrity. As the membrane stabilized, the alternate versions of the celestial harmony began to fade, returning to their own universes. Jack and Zira found themselves alone once more, their ship now floating in a sea of newborn stars. "It's beautiful," Zira breathed, watching as the first tendrils of the quantum membrane began to weave between galaxies. Jack nodded, a mix of awe and exhaustion washing over him. "We've changed the fundamental nature of the multiverse," he said. "I'm not sure if we had the right to do that." A familiar golden light filled the bridge, coalescing into the form of the Overseer. "You acted to preserve life and foster understanding between realities," the cosmic being said. "In doing so, you have ushered in a new age of multiversal cooperation. The cosmic nexus approves." Relief flooded through Jack and Zira. But as the adrenaline of battle faded, a new concern took hold. "What about Nethara?" Zira asked, "and the other Void Weavers?" The Overseer's light pulsed thoughtfully. Nethara was the last of her kind, a relic of an older, harsher multiverse. But in her defeat, she has been transformed. The quantum membrane you've created will need guardians, beings to maintain the balance between separation and connection. Understanding dawned on Jack. "You mean?" "Yes," the Overseer confirmed. "Nethara and others, like her, will become the caretakers of this new cosmic architecture. In time, they may even come to embrace the harmony you've introduced to the multiverse." As the Overseer faded from view, Jack and Zira turned their attention back to the star-filled expanse before them. The Andromeda Milky Way bridge had been restored, stronger than ever. Ships from 100 worlds traversed its length, their crews marveling at the shimmering quantum membrane that now lined the intergalactic void. "So," Jack said with a smile, "what's our next adventure?" Zira's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Well, now that we've reshaped the fundamental nature of reality, I suppose we should start thinking bigger." They laughed, the sound filled with joy and possibility. As the celestial harmony's engines hummed to life, preparing to take them to the farthest reaches of the newborn cosmic web, Jack marveled at how far they had come. From reluctant heirs to an interstellar legacy, they had become architects of a harmonious multiverse. The power they wielded was immense, but it was tempered by wisdom, compassion, and above all, love, for each other, for their people, and for the infinite wonders of existence itself. The quantum membrane pulsed with new possibilities, new connections forming between realities that had once been irrevocably separate. And at the heart of it all were Jack and Zira, once an unlikely pair of human and alien, now the guardians of a cosmic legacy beyond imagining. As they set course for the unknown, Jack squeezed Zira's hand. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever new wonders or dangers the multiverse might hold, they would face them together, harmony bringers, reality shapers, and partners in the greatest adventure ever known. The stars beckoned, infinite in their promise, and Jack Thompson, the ordinary guy from Earth who had become something extraordinary, was ready to embrace them all, with Zira by his side and the song of the cosmos in his heart.